Hi and welcome to Priori Digital Studio tutorial. In this video, I will show you how to set up and use your Etsy statistics in the most efficient way. In this video, I'm using Google Sheets, but the Excel version is almost the same. First thing, we protect most of the cells where there are formulas to make sure that you don't erase any important formulas that could impact the spreadsheet. So if you see this message, it means you are not supposed to touch it. But don't worry, I'll show you step by step how to prepare your spreadsheet. If you touch a cell with a formula by mistake, simply click on the X and you will be fine. On another important note, if you don't use any SKU, meaning stock keeping units on Etsy, the spreadsheet will not work since it is based basically on these SKUs. So let's go to our Etsy shop, click on Manager. Then let's take an example in a listing. Let's simply take the first one and then scroll down to the SKU. So the SKU is right next to the price and the quantity. So the SKU is basically a number that you give your products to help you identify it. So our spreadsheet only works if there's a SKU here. Moreover, I strongly suggest that everybody on Etsy has a SKU, even though you are a small shop, because once you start to have 50 or 100 listings, it's gonna become really hard to identify your products. Now let's go back to the spreadsheet. So the first tab is the Setup tab. In this tab, you will set up all your information needed for the spreadsheet. In step 1, you have to enter your company name and your currency symbol. In step 2, enter the date when you want to start this spreadsheet. It is really important that you don't change this date once you've defined it, since your data could be offset after that. So now let's take an example. So we want to start the spreadsheet on January 2023. So let's simply type in the year. And then you can use the drop-down menu to select a month. So in our case, it's going to be January. Now let's take a look at the Etsy Data tab. The Etsy Data tab is one of the key parts of the spreadsheet. This tab allows you to compile all your data from Etsy. In this tab, there's no need to write any data. All the data will be pasted from your Etsy CSV. This is the only tab where I will show you how to use the spreadsheet in both Excel and Google Sheets, since there's a small difference between those two programs. So the first step for this tab is to download your data from Etsy. Let's go to our Etsy shop. Let's go to Shop Manager. Then you can simply click on Settings and then Options. At the top of the page, click on Download Data. The second table named Orders is the important one for us. You can select the CSV type you want, so in our case, we want to extract the one named Order Items. It is important to select the right CSV because our spreadsheet will not work if you select another one. Then you want to select the year and the month you want to extract your data from. If you want to extract the whole year at once, simply select the year and do not select any month. In our case, we want to extract the whole year, so that's why we did not select any month. Then click on Download CSV. A pop-up message will appear at the top of the page telling you that you will receive an email with the download. Depending on the number of cells you had, the download could take some time. Moreover, if you do not know what a CSV file is, a CSV file is a file where all your data is separated by a comma and you can open it with multiple applications. But our case, we want to open it in a spreadsheet, either Excel or Google Sheets. So by now you should have received your email, so simply go to your email address. The email will look like this. Simply click on Download Now. So as you can see, the file should be in your downloads. So now let's go back to the spreadsheet. If you use Google Sheet, open a new spreadsheet. To do so, click on File, New, and Spreadsheet. Then click on File at the top left of the page and then on Import. Then select Upload and browse in your computer to find the CSV file you just downloaded from Etsy. If you did not change its location, then it should be in your downloads. Now select the file and then click on Open. It can take a little bit of time to download. A pop-up window will appear. Select Replace Spreadsheet, then Detect Automatically, and untick the box. It is really important to untick the box to keep your data raw. Then click on Import Data. Don't worry if it takes a little bit of time. If you do have a lot of data, it's totally normal. So be patient for a few seconds. Then your spreadsheet will look like this. Now you should select the data you want to paste in the spreadsheet. To do it, I recommend to go to the extreme right of the spreadsheet, then select the second row of the SKU column and go to the left to select all the second row. It is not necessary to select the header row. Then select the table with your mouse or by doing Ctrl plus Shift and then arrow down. Be careful, as you can see, we do have a row with empty data, so simply click on the arrow down again. Again, we have an empty row, again, until the end of all your data. So once you selected all your data, then copy these data using the standard Ctrl plus C shortcut. Make sure that your data are well copied when you see a dotted line. Then come back to your original spreadsheet and then paste these data in cell J10 by pasting these value only. You can do so by clicking on Ctrl, Shift, then V. Again, this tab is quite big, so it could take some time to paste your data and let the time for the calculation to be done in the gray area. So now let's do the same process, but with the Excel spreadsheet. So as you can see, the Excel template is very similar. So to begin with, open your CSV file with Excel. So simply open your downloads and double-click on the file. If you see a similar message, click on Don't Convert. The other way to open your downloaded CSV would be to click on File, then Open, then click on Browse. Then you could find your CSV file in your downloads. We already did it, so we won't do it again. Once it is open, if it looks like this and your data are on different columns, you don't have to do anything. Sometimes the extraction is a little bit weird, and if your data are all in the first column A, then select the column by clicking on the letter A. Then open the data ribbon and click on Text to Column here. A window will open. In step 1, select Delimited, then click on Next. Then in step 2, untick everything except comma. Then click on Next. Finally, in step 3, simply click on Finish. We will not do it since we do not have this issue. So now your data should look like this. Now you should select the data you want to paste in the spreadsheet. To do so, I recommend you go to the extreme right of the spreadsheet, then select the second row of the SKU column, and go to the left to select all the second row. It is not necessary to select the header row. Then select the table with your mouse or by doing Ctrl, Shift, and arrow down. If you have some empty data, it will stop, so make sure to keep clicking on the arrow down to select all your data. So keep doing this until you are at the bottom of the spreadsheet. It might take a few clicks if you do have a lot of data. If you go to the total bottom of the spreadsheet, simply click once on the arrow up. So as you can see now, we selected all your data. Then copy this data using the standard Ctrl and then C shortcut. Make sure to see the dotted line here. It means that all your data are copied. So now let's come back to the original spreadsheet and then paste your data in cell J10 by pasting values only. To do so, you can simply click on Ctrl, Shift, and V. This tab is quite big, so it could take time to paste your data and let time for the calculation to be done in the gray area. Again, this task is very important because the rest of the spreadsheet depends on this. So now let's go back to the Google Sheets spreadsheets since the process is the same for Excel and Google Sheets. So obviously you will have to enter more than 1 month or 1 year in this spreadsheet. So at the end of a new month or a new year, simply add your new data to the following empty row. To easily access the next empty row, go to column J, then press on Ctrl and then the down arrow. This way it's gonna bring you to the next empty row. So once you're there, you do the same process and simply paste your data. Now let's take a look at the metrics tab. In this tab, you will be able to find all your data crushed for each day from the start date you defined in the setup tab. So in the first column, you will see the day, then you need to enter your views and visits for the day. It is important to enter your views and visits to get a full view of your business performance. To enter this data, you should wait for the end of the day. This way, you will get accurate data. So to open your Etsy dashboard, simply go to your Etsy shop and then click on the shop manager and select the data from the previous day. So in our case, simply select yesterday, since today's data will be still coming in. So we want accurate data. Now you will have to enter the number of visits and views. So you can either type in or select the views, go back to your spreadsheet, and then let's make an example. Let's copy the data here. Perfect. Then we will do the same thing for the visits. So as you can see, the click rate will automatically be calculated. So this data should be entered manually, and this is why it is important not to modify the start date once it is set up. Then you have the number of sales and orders you had for each day. So basically the difference between them is that the number of sales is the number of products you sold, and the number of orders is the number of people who bought from your shop. So let's make an example. So if you had one person who bought from your shop during a specific day, and this person bought 3 products, then you will have 1 order and 3 sales. As for the conversion rate, it is automatically calculated based on the number of orders and the number of visits. You also have a column for the revenue, the ASV or the average sales value, as well as the AOV, the average order value. Each one depends on the number of sales and the number of order, respectively. Now let's take a look at the competitor tracker tab. In this tab, you will be able to track your sales and the ones from your competitors to always see if you gain traction or if a new competitor gains traction or gets your customers. So basically, the first date that you see in this column is also the same date that you inputted in the setup tab. Then you simply have to enter the name of your competitors and track their number of sales. I always recommend you to track all these data at the same time every single day to get accurate data. To do so, you simply have to go to your shop and then copy the number of sales you have. You can either copy paste this or type in, and then paste this data in the spreadsheet on the right date. So let's scroll down to find an empty row, then copy there. So these are just examples. As you can see, our data is much more bigger than the day before. As you can see, the daily sales are calculated automatically. So in this example, it's like we've made 2,823 sales in one day. As you can see, this is definitely just an example. I wish we had that much sales in one day. Let's go back at the top of the page where you have a chart of your last 90 days of data. You can also find some valuable information in the total sales of the day and the market share. So the total sales of the day is basically all the sales from all your customers combined together. So you can see if it's a day where there are high volume of sales or low volume of sales. Then for the market share, it's basically your share of the market. So if you have a lower share or a highest share of the market. So as you can see here, some days are 5% and other are as low as 2 or 3%. Now let's take a look at the customer location tab. In this tab, you will be able to see where your customers come from in the world and also more especially in the US. You also have the possibility to visualize this data during a specific period of time as well as for a specific product. So let's say we want to visualize the data within a specific date range. Simply change the start date and the end date at the top left of the page. If you want to see your data for the overall period of time, simply select a very large date range. We will do so as an example. So let's select a start date quite early. Simply click on the cell and you will see a small calendar appear. If you are on Excel, you will have to type in the date. So in our case, our shop was not created yet on January 1st, 2023. So we will select this date. And then for the end date, we will simply select the end of the year. So 31st of December, 2023. Then use the drop-down menu to select a specific product. So as you can see, all our products are listed here. And if we wanted to see a specific data only for one product, we could click on either one of those. The first option is always all your products if you don't want to select one in particular. So if you want to see your whole shop data, so all your items, just leave it as all your products. So after that, you have nothing to do. The two tables below are totally automated. As you can see on the left-hand side, everything is about the whole world. So if you take a look at the map, we can definitely see that most of our sales are from the United States. And we do have a lot of sales from Europe and America in general. If we scroll down a little bit, you have the breakdown for each countries. So in our case, we can see that our top 5 countries are the States, Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, Philippines. You see the drill. We can also see the number of sales in each countries as well as the percentage of sales. Then if we look at the right-hand side of this tab, we can see all the United States with the different states. In our case, we can see that Texas and California are where we sell most of our products. If we scroll down a little bit and look at the table, we can see a breakdown of all our sales and the percentage by states. So now let's take a look at the product statistic tab. In the first section of this tab, you will be able to see all the data for a specific product during a specific period of time and compare that to the overall data. In the second section of this tab, you will be able to see the data of all your products during a specific period of time. So the first thing to do is to set up the start date and the end date. Same thing here. If you want to see your data for the overall period of time, simply select a very large date range. Since we took this example in the previous tab, now we will take a very specific date range. So now, as you can see, the start date is in September 2023. In this case, we will simply select October. So let's select October 1st and then October 31st. Good. In the first section of this spreadsheet, you can select a specific product in the drop-down menu and compare its data during the period of time you selected versus the overall statistics that you imported in this spreadsheet. So it's basically a specific time versus your overall data. So now let's dive in the data. So at the top, you have the rank of the product. So here in my example, this product ranks second in our shop. It's basically our second best product by revenue. Right below the rank, you also can see the revenue distribution of this product. So in this example, we can say that this product during this very specific period of time brought 22.9% of our revenue. As you can see in our example, the rank is second, so number 2, and there's a flat line, meaning that this product in this specific period of time is our second best-selling product. But based on the overall statistics, it's always been our second best-selling product. Hence the flat line. Let's take another example to see how it works. So now let's take number 32. So as you can see for this example, there's a red arrow. It means that the performance of this product is lower than the overall data, meaning that certainly this product was doing very well at the beginning, but then it's dropping down these days. Let's take another example to see a product that does better. So let's take number 63. As you can see, this product has a green arrow and it's going upwards, meaning that in October, our selected period, this product is doing better than the overall time frame. So now let's have a look at the overall statistics and keep the same example. So as you can see, this product has a rank 6, meaning that it's our 6th best seller on our overall products. Then for the revenue distribution, we can see that this product brings about 4.2% of our revenue. Then if we scroll down a little bit, you have a table with a lot of data separated by categories: sales, revenue, and the posting delay. In the sales section, you will find the date of the first sale, last sale, the number of sales, and the average number of sales per day for the product selected. In the revenue section, you will find the revenue generated, the average revenue per day, the revenue percentage compared to your overall sales, the product rank, as well as the lowest and highest price sold. So in the lowest price and highest price sold, you can see a big difference in those two. So this product is sold about around $7, but sometimes when customers buy more than one products together, discount codes goes to one specific products. Hence, you see the difference in prices. Then in posting delay section, you will find the minimum and maximum as well as the average posting delay. In our case, we only sell digital downloads, so we do not have any data for it. However, if you were to sell some physical products, you would see here your posting delays, meaning the time from the order and the day you posted the item. If we scroll down a little bit, we have another section. In the second section of this tab, you have nothing to do. Everything is automated, and you can see the statistics of all your products during the period of time you selected. So on the left side, you have a pie chart of your revenue distribution sorted by products. So as you can see on the pie chart, you see that our SKU number 65 and 52, as well as 63, are doing the best. And on the right-hand side, you have the possibility to see the Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20 rule, within your shop. So basically, the Pareto principle says that 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of your products/efforts. So as you can see in our example, 80.9% of our revenue comes from 7 products. Then if we scroll down a little bit, you have a table with all your products sorted by revenue generated with their number of sales and the revenue percentage. Now let's take a look at the monthly report tab. In this tab, you will be able to see all your data for a specific month. The only thing you need to set up is the year and the month. So let's make an example. Let's type in the year. So in our case, it's 2023. And then let's use the drop-down menu to select a month. So let's click on October. Then, as you can see, everything is auto-populated. This tab is separated into 4 sections. The first one is for the revenue. Then you have your product data, sales and orders, and the last one is for views and visits. So for the first section, you can see your revenue and average order value for each day of the month. You also have the data in the table below with the average sales value as well. All the tables are presented the same way with all the days and the total in gray on the left-hand side. So as you can see in the graph, our revenue and AOV was pretty stable for the month of October with a small decrease at the end. The second section is for your products data. So you can see your top 5 best products of the month and their revenue associated. You can see a breakdown of your data in the orange table below. Just below in the same section, you can select a specific product and see its data for the month. So let's take number 63, for example. So you basically have the revenue and the number of sales. So in the graph for this specific product, you can see that in October, it was a bumpy road. Another interesting information on this graph is, as you can see on the second day, we definitely made a refund for this product and we did not sell any. Now let's have a look at the third section for your sales and orders data. So you can see your number of sales and orders as well as your conversion rate for the month. Same thing, you can see a breakdown of all your data in the table below. Then the last section is for your views and visits. So once again, all the breakdown data can be found in the table below. So in this tab, you really have all the information to understand your monthly business performance. Now let's take a look at the quarterly report tab. The quarterly tab has very similar information to the monthly tab, but you can see easily your data over a period of 3 months. So just like the monthly tabs, you can change the start date by typing in the year, and select the month with the drop-down menu. Then you can also select a specific product in the second section of the spreadsheet to see its data during this quarter. Don't forget, the rest of the tab is auto-populated for an easier use of the spreadsheet. Now let's take a look at the Annual Report tab. The Annual Dashboard is very similar to the two previous tabs. You first have to enter the year and select a start month. So in our case, let's use the drop-down menu and select January. Meaning that if you want to see your business performance from January 2023 to December 2023, you have to use the drop-down menu and select January. However, you can select any month, so you could always check your business performance from, let's say, May 2022 to April 2023. Basically, this tab shows you your performance over a 12 months period. There's also an additional chart that shows you in detail, day by day, your revenue of the year. We also added some few more information, so your average revenue by day based on each month, as well as revenue growth. These information are also in the other section, so you can see your average revenue by day and growth for the views, for the orders, etc. Now let's take a look at the 3 years report tab. In this tab, you will be able to see your business performance over 3 years. So same thing here, simply type in the year and select the month of the start date. So as you can see in our first graph, we basically opened our shop in 2023 and we are recording this tutorial in 2024, hence why we only have 2 years of data. Now let's take a look at the Custom Report tab. This tab works the same way as all the other tabs. However, you can decide which interval of date you want to check your business performance. So double-click on the date and select the date that you want to start. Then select the end period you want to see. So in our case, we can select, for example, here, 1st of January to the end of July. You could see your performance over a period of a few weeks or over a few months. You decide on the interval. The rest of the information shown is the same as all the other tabs. Now let's take a look at the Comparison tab. The Comparison tab works just like the other tabs and lets you compare and analyze 3 different intervals of time. It could be within the same year or an interval of time in another year. This tab is very useful to compare your Black Friday sales with your Christmas sales within the same year, for example, or your Black Friday sales over 3 years. To choose the interval, double-click on the dates, and as you can see, you can select from a small calendar. If you're on Excel, you will have to type in the date. In the name cell, you can also name this time interval for better understanding. In this example, we simply wrote 2023 and a month, but you could also write something like Black Friday 2022, Black Friday 23, and Black Friday 24, for example, if you wanted to compare all your Black Fridays. The information displayed is the same as all the other tabs. So you have information on your revenue, your orders, product data, as well as visits and views. So that's it. I hope this tutorial helps you easily set up your spreadsheet. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or concern. Follow Priori Digital Studio on Etsy and YouTube for sneak peeks on new templates.